I think we have some disagreement here, though, David, on how it is that you've been talking about the WNBA collective bargaining agreement. So, Trista, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I just saw The Athletic reported, David, that the WNBA PA is countering, and they asked for 33% of a revenue split. Now I think it's down to about 30%. I asked Nafisa Collier at this unrivaled event in the middle of the WNBA All-Star weekend what percentage they wanted, and we now finally found out what that was. It seems like this is getting contentious, but I guess to you, what's the percentage that you think gets this deal done?
Oh, I don't think Adam Silver has any interest in pegging it to a percentage at all. And Adam Silver addressed the media during the League Cup final in Vegas and said that he'll get involved if they want him to. But here's the surprise. He's been involved from the beginning. What he was saying is, will I go to the actual table? You don't need the commissioner of the NBA to be at this table at any time. But what they've done is they've extended the deadline first by 30 days, 40 days. So it's been a total of 70 days, which all you're doing is delaying a work stoppage. You want to get to that work stoppage because that's a legal term of art. You want to get to some sort of lockout or strike so then it can go to the next stage of these negotiations. But the biggest misunderstanding here is that the players in the WNBA want to have a pegged revenue number the way they have it in the NBA. And Adam Silver is saying no because the NBA owners are saying no, because that's not taking into account all of the money that the WNBA owners need to profit and take off the table to pay down debt that has been accruing over the decades of losses. So that is why they're not having a meeting of the minds on any percentage, which is why the NBA is offering minimum salaries increasing like up to $1 million, because then you can absolutely chart and express what your expenses will be and then what your profits will be.
So, David, the reports are, I think the WNBA's stance is 15%. There is a percentage they're pegging it to. It's 15%. But the way they're getting around it is by saying, okay, and we'll have higher maximums for the top tier players. Mm-hmm. But also within that, we're going to take away some of the benefits, because all of these proposals up till now have had, well, this is 30% of revenues minus the benefits paid out like housing and transportation and all that. So what they're trying to say is, hey, we'll get rid of housing, but we'll have the max salary be higher. And I was just interested, in your experience, how many times do leagues do that, where it's like, I'm going to try and cater to the elites because that's a big headline, and this is going to screw over the constituency?
No, it's funny. The union tends to do that more than we do, but we just keep a piece of paper and we put a value to everything. So we know the exact price per team to establish housing for the players. We know the exact price per percentage of ERISA benefits that we would give, which are retirement benefits. We know what it means for every team's payroll if the minimum is $250,000 instead of $150,000. So we're just trading off a column during CBA negotiations, where if we give this, we want that back. And what the owners always say is that they want to come out ahead on their columns. They want to get more than they give. So that's why there's no specific landing point to any issue during a negotiation, because all the issues are intertwined and you tend to settle everything at the end, and that's when an agreement comes. But until that point, you've actually agreed to nothing. Well, the truth is you agree to a bunch of stupid stuff that you get out of the way when negotiations first start, and then you get an issues list of like 50 items that are all negotiated sort of together because they move in lockstep. So you're really trying to get a landing spot for tons of issues, not just housing or minimums or tagging a percentage of revenue.
If the players are not going to move on a revenue split versus derive revenue share off of a fixed number, what is your opinion on what happens?
Maybe the end of the WNBA. The players will move. There's not going to be a fixed number. It doesn't make sense to me for the WNBA to demand that, for the players to demand that right now. I understand. The biggest thing they did wrong, they said this is their moment. And so they've put a lot of pressure on themselves to make huge changes in the collective bargaining agreement because this is their moment. What you try to do is make incremental benefits through the course of multiple agreements. And so I don't think they should have gone for everything they're going for right now, because they put themselves in a corner where they feel like they have to get it, or it's like a major loss.
What
where
did
I
you
think
say on the front end of this?
He said the end of the WNBA.
What are you saying is going to happen if...
let's be clear, Dan. People are not talking about this enough. We talked about it on the sporting class. And obviously, you know, John Skipper's involvement in Unrivaled, but you also have talked about what Project B is. You understand there are players who are getting paid multi-millions of dollars to go play in another league in another country. This is the moment. If you had any ability to invest and you wanted to start a league to compete with the WNBA, this is the time. Every player is a free agent. All of them want money and need money. If you have a well-capitalized and well-funded business, the way Project B may be, that could be the end of the WNBA. And I promise you that Adam Silver is thinking about that, and the players are thinking about that.
How real is that? How real is what you're saying? How real is it to be possible, the idea that because you're meeting a moment where profound asks are being made of a business by a group that has never been stronger than it is right now about asking for money in a culture where it will be very unpopular if the WNBA does what you're saying, how probable is that?
It'll be unpopular if the WNBA folds. Unpopular to who? To the large majority of the... I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. If what you're saying that there have been expansion fees paid and they're trying to expand and they've got broadcast deals that were totally pinned to the NBA deals, is that what you mean by unpopular? What I'm telling you is that if the players get too greedy, it will be the end of the WNBA. That's not the end of the world for them. Because they have options.
I don't hear anyone saying, though, that we're on the precipice of it sort of collapsing and needing to reinvent itself. I haven't heard that anywhere.
It's just because people are not actually paying attention to what's real about this negotiation, because they believe that this is their moment because of all the great press around Caitlin Clark and the excitement of the WNBA. And I am not in any way impugning the right of players to make as much money as they can, because if you can go overseas, if you can go to Unrivaled, if you can go make a living and it's a better living, go make it. It's like on any business. If you can make more money at the Ringer, people are going to go to the Ringer. That's how it goes in life. And in the WNBA, if the players can make more money elsewhere, they're going to go elsewhere. That's what's going to happen.
Too soon.
Seemed like a very specific example.
Too soon.
I don't think it's too soon or too much.
The joke you made in the middle there, it's too soon.
Small.
No,
So
okay,
small.
no, it's too soon.
Very specific.
Yeah, it was too specific. Give me a date. Predict it now. Tell me when this is going to happen, because it sounds to me like you're predicting it's going to happen because you know business and you know the problems involved with. We think we're worth more, and this is the moment to capitalize on more, and we've never been stronger as a movement. Not just WNBA League, but a women's movement. We will get our worth. You know where that can collapse with optics and everywhere else when the pressure of this rises. Give me a date.
I'm telling you right now that there is not going to be an agreement before the new year, before this extra extension, which ends January 7th, I believe. I think there are more moves to be made by both sides, but an agreement is not a guarantee. And if the Players Association believes that Adam Silver is going to cave, they are wrong. I can't give you a date because it's not even journalistically proper to give a date, because this negotiation could go on for 3 months, 6 months. It could go on for 2 years negotiating with a players union. We've seen that in sports. You just don't know. But I would be very careful being cocky if I'm the WNBA Players Association. But finding optionality matters, and that's what the women have been doing. So I give them credit for that. But I'll tell you, owners don't care. If the WNBA folds, they will be just fine.